Just like I've been saying. Just like I've been saying. This is what I think it is. Hey, y'all see the title. Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're on the This Happened channel. Will Smith finally admits he can't divorce Jada because of money. Now, I ain't saying this is true. It could be one of many truths, but we gonna see. We gonna see. Shout out to all the good humans. Link is always in the description for those who are asking, man. This situation is so crazy just because of what they portrayed to the world of a happy marriage and all that type of stuff. That's why I said, stop idolizing these celebrities, man. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Will Smith is speaking out about his 7-year separation from Jada Pinkett Smith and her bombshell memoir, Worthy.
Jada and I have, we weathered some storms.
He's always willing to suffer. And now, in this new passage of our relationship, he's learning how to suffer differently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Will Smith has finally broken his silence on Jada's new book, and although a lot of people were screaming at Will to file for divorce, it turns out Will won't divorce Jada because they don't have a prenup. So there's been a lot of speculation lately about the possible reason why Jada is using every opportunity to embarrass Will in public, and fans are baffled as to why Will simply doesn't file for divorce. Well, it turns out money could be the reason, because Will and Jada don't have a prenup, and fans are speculating that everything that Jada has been doing lately is part of her plan to push Will to file for divorce papers, because if he's the one who initiates the divorce, he'd have to give her half of his money.
Woo.
Jada hasn't had an acting career in years. Earlier this year, her talk show, Red Table Talk, was canceled. And she's now got a new book coming out, which seems like nothing but a cash grab. Anyway.
Again, whenever like a rapper or somebody is promoting a album or somebody got a book, it's always this drama. But I mean, this brother should be able to survive with half of what he make, but still, it's just crazy.
Will has now broken his silence on Jada's new memoir, and based on what he said, it sounds like it all really does come down to money.
You know why I never got divorced?
It's cheaper to keep me.
No.
So Jada Pinkett Smith is continuing with the promo tour for her upcoming memoir, Worthy, and every day she makes it more clear that she absolutely can't stand her husband, Will. During a recent interview with Hoda Kotb, Jada dropped a bombshell, revealing that she and Will have been living separate lives since 2016. And she also said that when Will slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars last year, she thought it was a skit because she didn't expect Will to defend someone who technically isn't his wife. I am unclear on the reason why Will is so upset, Jada said. We have been living separate lives, and we're there as a family, not as husband and wife. But when I hear Will yell wife in the chaos of the moment, an internal shift of, oh shit, I am his wife. As for the reason why she simply didn't file for divorce, Jada told Hoda that she made a promise that she and Will would work through all issues no matter what.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Now, if you're confused how living separately and having entanglements with other people counts as working through your marriage issues, You're not the only one, because none of this makes any sense. Will and Jada are already living like a divorced couple. They've both been involved with other people since their separation, and all their children are adults. So what's the point of staying legally married? Well, it turns out that the reason could be money. See, a lot, if not most, Hollywood marriages are business arrangements, and it looks like Will and Jada's situation is no different.
Yeah.
But unlike most Hollywood couples, Jada and Will never signed a prenup. And in her recent interview with Parade Friday, Jada again claimed the reason why they didn't want a prenup is because they believe that divorce is not an option. No matter what, we're going to figure it out, and that's why we don't need a prenup, Jada said, because I'm making a promise that divorce won't be necessary, that we will figure this out. But this whole idea that divorce is worse than a bad marriage might have something to do with Will's guilt over his first marriage. See, in his 2021 self-titled memoir, Will talked about how he was a terrible husband to his first wife, Cherie Zampino, and he also admitted that he was the reason his first marriage ended. Divorce was the worst thing in my adult life, Will said. Divorce was the ultimate failure for me. I've hurt a lot in my adult life, but I don't think anything touches the failure of getting divorced from my 2-year-old son's mother. So it sounds like Will carries a lot of guilt from the way he treated Cherie, especially when you take into account that he admitted he called Jada and asked her out the same day he signed the divorce papers with Cherie. But see, it was Cherie who ended up filing for divorce first because she realized Will wanted Jada. Throughout his marriage with Cherie, Will stayed in touch with Jada, and he recalled how after one of their conversations, he realized he picked the wrong woman. I had to get up from dinner when I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with, Will said. I was sitting in a stall and I was crying and laughing uncontrollably, and I knew Jada was the woman I was supposed to be with, but I was never getting divorced. I went back out, sat down with Cherie, and started going back on with my life. However, Cherie immediately knew what she had to do and served Will divorce papers. But see, Will initially refused to go along with it until Cherie told him, "So you're going to make somebody stay with you who doesn't love you?" That was the one that got me, Will said. Well, fans are now speculating that Jada is the one who wants a divorce. However, she wants Will to file first because that way she'd get half his money. Will, on the other hand, doesn't want another failure and knows it's cheaper to keep her. Take a look at this moment from Red Table Talk where Jada said this is the reason Will never filed for divorce. The way she said it so quickly sounded like this is something they previously discussed. However, Will tried to play it off as a joke and claimed he never filed for divorce because Jada is one of a kind.
You know why I never got divorced?
It's cheaper to keep me.
No.
Look at the daughter.
Believe it. Oh my goodness.
Because I've never met anybody like you, and I knew if I wasn't with you, I'd be searching in vain for the rest of my life.
Aw, Willard. See, sometimes he says the right thing.
The truth.
However, Jada was clearly never happy being married to Will, and fans are speculating that all these interviews that she's been doing are part of her plan to humiliate Will and push him to the point where he'd have no choice but to divorce her. One fan said, "My theory is Jada is broke if she ain't married to Will. Red Table Talk is gone, and he is 4 times her net worth. He won't divorce her because it's the only way to keep her from getting his money. So now she's going to lengths to embarrass him and force him into the divorce."
Jeez,
and another fan added, "No prenup means Jada has to work twice as hard to get Will to divorce her. LOL. Jada now has an estimated net worth of $50 million, while Will's net worth is said to be around $350 million. And at
their money will outlive them, both of them. So, boy.
At this point, Jada's main source of income and fame is sharing too much information about her relationship and family.
Right.
As for Will, his career did suffer a temporary setback after the Oscars slap. However, he's now back on track, and according to his IMDb page, he's got 5 big-budget productions in the making, including sequels to Bad Boys and I Am Legend. So basically, it sounds like Jada really wants Will to divorce her. However, he doesn't want to file the papers for 2 main reasons. He'd lose half his money, and plus, he clearly has this idea that divorce is somehow a personal and moral failure. And Will has now broken his silence on Jada's upcoming memoir and seemingly confirmed that he's never going to divorce her. In an email sent to the New York Times, Will said reading Jada's book was a wake-up call and made him understand how Jada had lived a life more on the edge than he'd realized, and she is more resilient, clever, and compassionate than he'd understood. When you've been with someone for more than half of your life, a sort of emotional blindness sets in, Will wrote, and you can all too easily lose your sensitivity to their hidden nuances and subtle beauties. Also, during Jada's recent appearance on the On Purpose with Jay Shetty podcast, Jay read a letter that Will wrote for Jada.
I also have a letter from Will. "You are one of one, a rare blend of power and delicate sensitivity. I know it wasn't easy to excavate the depths in that way. I applaud and honor you. If I had read this book 30 years ago, I definitely would have hugged you more."
Yeah, it sounds like Will's never signing the divorce papers. However, fans are saying this whole situation is so bizarre because Jada never has anything remotely as sweet as this to say about Will. In fact, almost everything she shared about him in public was negative. One fan said, "No, his response just makes the whole thing sadder and weirder." And another person wrote, "I can't be the only one who thinks these two deserve each other. I feel like they're perfectly willing to do emotional damage to their children and each other as long as they make money and stay relevant." But what do you think is the real reason Will won't file for divorce from Jada? Is it really just money or something else? Comment down below and don't miss out on this next video.
It could be a variety of things. They're talking about her net worth is 50 million, and it's just like, golly, man. I mean, you know, what he says versus what she says is like they're living, it's like two totally different worlds. You know, it would make sense, you know, if they didn't sign a prenup, that he wants to continue to up her in the public, and she's trying to drag him just so she can make him sign, be like, you know what, this is too much. Because, you know, I guess it comes down to how much more can he take? How much more before he's like, you know what, this is it. You know, he seems to be so comfortable with his manhood that he's like, she can say whatever she want about me. I ain't signing them papers. Like, that would be a legit reason. Like, if he don't want to give her half, you know. But boy, like I said, I still feel like she got some type of dirt on him, for real. Maybe a combination of that and the money. Whew. I want to know what his ex think. What she think about the whole situation, you know, because when you're on the outside looking in is one thing, but I know the ex is still really close to them. So, boy, these celebrities, man. All right, hey, appreciate you guys coming over and watching, man. Peace out.